You're on the brink of breakthrough, and your mind is telling you, nah, just give up. What do I do about that? You're watching. You good, bro? What's up, y'all? My name's Pastor Devin. Glad you could join me on this episode today, where we're still talking about fears, but in a way to the point where it's constantly amping up its game, and it's making things a lot harder. And I know that this scripture really helps me out to dive into exactly what we go through on it all the time, pretty much. And it's from Galatians 6:8-9. Those who live only to satisfy their own sinful nature will harvest decay and death from that sinful nature. But those who live to please the Spirit will harvest everlasting life from the Spirit. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. And man, as a husband and a father, your mind keeps on telling you, well, for me at least, I can only relate. And for guys that don't have the supportive wives or supportive girlfriends in their lives, I'm sorry. I really am. I really hope that changes for you someday. But man, it's hard because you end up saying to yourself, all right, I'm there. I'm almost there. I'm almost ready to, I'm almost over this hill, only to be constantly bombarded from your mind to say, nah, just give up. Just give up. Because you're not a good husband. You're not a good boyfriend. You're not a good father. You don't spend enough time with them, even though you technically do spend all the time that you can with them. And man, for me lately, especially when money gets tight, for example, you end up thinking, or you look in your refrigerator, or you end up thinking that you don't have ends meet, and then all of a sudden, or you're living paycheck to paycheck. I can only imagine what you might be going through all the time. Or you end up thinking that you're spending too much time trying to set up a channel, thinking you're not helping anybody. So we end up falling back to our own devices, our own sinful nature. Yeah, struggle's tough. Struggle can get really hard on all of us. But that's just because that's that fear letting you know that it's near its last resort. It's almost letting you know that it's about to give up. It itself knows that its demise is on the way. Because then, at that point in time, it's going to try to bombard you with more mind games, thinking that you're not good enough, making you feel like you're not doing enough, making you think that you need to give more, making you think that you need to commit more. That's right. That right there is when God has to step in for us and say, you know what? No, son, just keep on working. Keep on doing good. And start with yourself first. Start with yourself first. Because if we're not doing good to ourselves, then what good are we to somebody else? Because that's what this scripture is really about, doing good to somebody else. But I dare to say that you need to start with yourself, because that's where 8 comes in, the sinful nature. Do good to yourself first. Do good to yourself first. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you won't be the head of the household anymore. You'll be in the grave. You won't be that supportive figure in that kiddo's life. You'll be absentee. You won't be that committed lover because she'll find somebody else. Or just think that, no, everything's fine. Everything works. Nah. Signs are there, y'all. There's signs. But we just have to get better. We have to keep getting better. The work doesn't stop. That's where the harvest of this work comes into play. Work on yourself so that the harvest can be plentiful for somebody else. And as the father figure, as the husband or the soon to be husband, that's where the work starts. Before we try to be Superman to somebody else, allow God to be Superman for us first. And then we'll know how to take his advice, how to take his things that he has going on for us. Because that's the only way my mind is at ease and at peace. Because God's taking time for the work to happen. God's taking time for the harvest to be more than plentiful. This thing takes time, yo. I know that's a hard truth to take in. This thing takes time, yo. So in the meantime, what do we do? What do I do? I know the first thing I can do is I stay motivated, but I don't burn myself out. Stay motivated, but I don't burn myself out, because that self-motivation powers you. It says, okay, all right, I can keep on. I can keep on. I can keep on fighting. I can keep on going. But I know my limit. I know my limit, which goes to the next part. Respect yourself. That respect your mind. Take time to rest. The work will be there. The work will be there, but you have to take the necessary rest. It's necessary for our bodies to recalculate how it's feeling. It's necessary for your mind to recalculate, okay, this is what worked, this is what didn't. This is what worked, this is what didn't. And shining that inner light, that retrospective light that says, all right, let me make my adjustments so I can keep on going forward, so I can start a new way, so I can be good to myself, so that I may be good to my family and my friends. Be good to yourself with that. That's mindfulness. That's mental health right there. Mental health is such a small thing, y'all. People don't take that serious. We need to take that serious in our lives. We got to be able to voice how we're feeling. This next part really is going to, my wife is going to smile obnoxiously when she sees this part. But I have to admit it, as much as I don't want to say it right now, she's right. She's right. Gotta take care of myself. Gotta take care of yourself. Devin, you gotta take time. You gotta rest. That hurt. Y'all out there, y'all know. When your wives are right about something, they tend to let you know. God bless it. But no, she's right in that regard. Gotta take time to yourself. But then this last one is kind of big. It's really big to me, especially me. Push past your weaknesses. Don't fall back on them. Push past your weaknesses and don't fall back on them. Because there are certain addictions out there, or whatever your weakness might be, that'll try to shift your mindset into thinking, just fall back. Things aren't working out, just fall back on what you had going on. And it's our job, it's our personal duty to do away with that sinful nature. It is our personal duty to do away with that sinful nature. Because if we keep on holding on to it, if we keep on holding on to these weaknesses, these things that say what worked and what didn't work, then we'll never experience the harvest. We'll always be working ourselves to death. We'll always be working ourselves to death. And that, my friends, is never doing ourselves good. So I have to remind myself, yeah, I am on the brink of breakthrough. I'm almost there. You're almost there. Yeah. See? Motivation, respecting yourself, pushing past your weaknesses. You're almost there, because that harvest is right there. It's on the other side of the hill. We just have to keep on pushing ourselves, but to a specific limit. God didn't put you on this earth to always hurt, to always feel pain. Nah. God put you on this earth so that you may live and harvest with Him. With Him. Him and Him alone. So while the struggle is real, the struggle is hard, the road is tough, and whatever other cliche you can think of in terms of struggle and hard and rough and tough, on the other side of that is your breakthrough. On the other side of that is a new life. On the other side of that, you will live and not die. If that blessed your life, and I hope it did, and it shall, I thank you for watching. Come back next time, and as always, I love you. I'll see you down the road.